Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with another Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me just share the bag that I'm currently using, and that is the Louis Vuitton Alma PM in Noir Magnetic Monogram Vernis. I love this bag. I don't use it as much as I should, so I thought I'd give it some love. I love the gunmetal hardware and the little flakes that you have throughout the Monogram Vernis. It's just beautiful, so I think it's great for fall. All right, so let's get started with the very first question. From Anissa A. What brands do you recommend for handbags that still look classy but don't break the bank? I actually wrote down 3 contemporary designers that I really like. Some of them I have had handbags in the past, and I think they have really great details. The first one is Kate Spade. Even though I have not had a handbag of Kate Spade, I have had a few things here and there, and my mom actually just got a handbag from them, and I just really like how classy they look. Some of the designs do look like, you know, higher end luxury goods, but for the most part, I like their silhouettes. Sometimes they take it a little too far with the bows. There's sometimes bows everywhere and they're a little too in your face, but for the most part, I think it's a really great brand, and I really like walking into the store. I feel like, I don't know, I just love the whole atmosphere when you walk into the store. So Kate Spade is a good one. Another one that I really like is Tory Burch. I like Tory Burch for their hardware, and I love Tory Burch for their leather. And most of their handbags are actually really comfy to wear, and I really like that about them. And the last but not least is Marc by Marc Jacobs. Marc by Marc Jacobs is the lower end of Marc Jacobs handbag line, because his more expensive one is just called Marc Jacobs. And the reason why I like Marc by Marc Jacobs, my gosh, I like the hardware that he uses, and most of all, I love the leather. I just think it's a great leather. It wears very easily, and some of their handbags tend to be a little slouchy, but I don't know. I just like the overall design of it. I like how he incorporates, or they incorporate the hardware with the leather, and it just really just flows really nicely. And a lot of these handbags retail from anywhere from, you know, $350 at most to maybe $595, something like that. So I think they have really great features, really great details, and the price point is fantastic, especially for something that still looks really classy and really holds up very well. Next one, Laura Ramirez. I'm looking into buying a Celine bag. I'm stuck between the mini luggage and the micro. I have a Phantom and a Nano. What bag would you buy? Thanks. I think between the mini and the micro, I would choose the mini, because it is still somewhat of a larger bag that I can carry more essentials with me. So that's the only reason why I would go with the mini. I'm not too big of a fan on the smaller Celine bags. Who knows? My my opinion might change, as obviously it changed a while ago, because I used to not like Celine bags at all. But I do think that the mini is a better option for me, anyways. All right. Sapsari. I forgot what happened to your Pochette Metise again. Was it cracking at the flap or glazing? The varnishing was actually cracking, and I will be doing an upcoming video on that probably tomorrow, because I have a second reveal for you guys, if that makes any sense. Okay, Betsy Arvi. I'm traveling to Cabo this winter. I love shopping for new luxury goods pieces to add to my collection to remember a trip. Are you aware of any hot spots that I should check out while I am there? While I am in Cabo, Chanel, LV, Hermes, etc. When we went to Cabo, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. I was so excited because I wanted to check out the same type of luxury places. I didn't find anything. They actually have a mall, if you can call it. Yeah, it's a mall. It's right by the marina. I forget what it's called, because it's probably like maybe 10-15 minutes from the resorts that are on the beach, because that's where we were, and we just took a cab into the main town or whatever. And they have this mall, but it's kind of weird, because they have regular stores. You know, you have I think they have, what is it? You know, Samsonite, you know, things like that, as far as regular malls that you would go to when you're traveling, that you want to make sure that if you bring back items, you have luggage and things like that, if that makes any sense. But they also have a department store. It's this really big department store, and they don't have it's not like if you walked into Neiman's or Saks where you have full-on counters of Louis and Gucci and things like that, but they have kind of little, I don't know, it looks more like makeup counters, but they have jewelry. They have high-end jewelry. So they have Rolex, Cartier, Mont Blanc, Tiffany. I got my Tiffany there, but they don't have the big old, they don't have logos of the stores, if that makes any sense. You literally have to go up to the cases and then you can see what they have. I think they have Gucci. They have a Gucci store and a Fendi store at that same mall by the marina. But I'm not too sure. But they don't, I specifically remember not seeing Louis Vuitton, Chanel, or Hermes. They might have changed. Like I said, it was a few years back. And when you walk into the mall, like I said, you have the regular stores that you would see in pretty much any mall here in the States. And then you go to that higher end department store and you have 2 guards with AK-47s at the front of it. It's kind of, it's a little intimidating, but I get it. There's a lot of tourists there, but yeah. So just, you know, just keep that in mind. But hopefully they have added a Chanel or Hermes or something to make it a little bit more fun when you go there. But they have a lot of other stores outside of the mall, you know, little boutiques here and there, but nothing that really caught my attention. But like I said, hopefully it changed. Okay, but I hope you have fun. I love Cabo, and I love the weather there. Okay, it's only war paint. Any ideas when Chanel are launching their e-store online? For those of you that don't know, there is a huge rumor that Chanel is going to be launching an online store. And I have heard rumors that it's going to be maybe next spring. But you never know. You never know. I don't know if they're just doing that to keep our hopes up or whatever it is. But I did have someone ask me if I think that by them launching an online store, if it's going to take away from the exclusivity of the brand. I don't think it's going to take away from it. I think if anything, it will allow people, it will allow more people a chance to be able to really try out Chanel versus buying the, you know, the fragrances and the makeup online. You can get all that, but I'm talking about shoes. I'm talking about SLGs, things like that. And I think it's great because a lot of people don't have, there's a lot of people out there that don't have a Chanel anywhere near them. It might be across state lines, or it could be, you know, anywhere from 5+ hours away. And I think it'll be great. Like I said, because a lot more people can discover the brand. But I also think it's going to be a little hectic because it might make it a little bit more difficult to be able to buy items online because you have that many more people, you know, looking at the item. So you have, for example, like right now you have to go to the store to check out the items for the most part, right? Unless you go to a counter that is in a Neiman's, a Saks, Bloomingdale's, and things like that. So you pretty much have to physically see the item. But when you have that online store, you have all the people that didn't have them before, plus the people that would normally go into the store now checking it online. So I think it might it might create a frenzy at first. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I think it would be great. And hopefully they decide to do it soon because I think I will probably be one of those people that gets up every morning and just checks the website for new things. I really think I'd be that person. Okay, next question. Life's Little Luxury. Minnie, I had a problem with canvas cracking on a bag of mine. If LV does the right thing, I will be able to choose another bag. My bag is discontinued and will need to choose another style. I am considering going with Epi or Vernis leather, hoping this is more durable with less issues. Any thoughts? Is it more durable that you know of? And what bag should I consider? I am casual and need a pop of color. You know what? I think I did wear and tear videos on Epi. Not on Epi, no, because I don't have that much, I don't have any Epi. I did it on Vernis. And Vernis actually, you have to be a little bit careful because of color transfer. But for the most part, it is still a very durable leather. A lot of people tend to stay away from it, but I think it's really great. For me, Epi is by far the best carefree leather that Louis Vuitton has because it doesn't lose its shape. And I think you don't have to worry about stretching it out. With Empriente, even though I love Empriente, sometimes it'll smoothen out over time and the embossing won't be there as much. So I think Epi is the best way to go because, like I said, you don't have to worry about it. Very carefree. It reminds me of Damier Ben as far as canvas goes, and you don't have to worry about it really cracking because you don't have to worry about canvas cracking because it is a leather bag. So I think Epi really withstands the test of time, and I don't think it gets as much love as it should, myself included. But I think you should go with maybe a classic bag if you don't have one already. I think that the Epi Neverfull is a great tote, and it has, you have a ton of different colors that you can choose from, and I think that's a great option. Another one is the Alma. It's very classic, very simple. What else as far as Epi goes? If you want something a little bit more, what is it called? Not a little bit more simple, but elegant at the same time. I think that the, what is it called? The Marley or the Clooney bags are great Epi pieces that you can check out. But I would definitely go with Epi before Vernis, even though there is just something magical about Vernis. And I was at the store a few days ago when I picked up the item that I'm going to show you guys tomorrow. And I saw the Vernis Magenta, the new color. Oh my goodness. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you guys saw that picture. It is just like this beautiful pink, magenta, blue undertone, iridescent, fantastic goodness. But as much as I love Vernis and I love the way that it looks, obviously I'm carrying a Vernis bag, I still think that Epi is that much more carefree. It's something that you can wear without having to worry about anything. So Epi would be my choice. Okay, Brenda A. Do you think that the medium large metallic purple cruise 2016 bag is too trendy? The Chanel, I'm guessing the same one as the iridescent one that I talked about last week. I want to add it to my collection, but I'm not sure. If it's the one that I'm thinking about, they made, like I said, the La Boy bag on it. It has that iridescent leather, and it has kind of like that peacock aurora borealis type of look to the hardware. I like it. I think I might like it better in the classic flap, especially if it's something different. Like you said, you want to add something different to your collection. And it's funny because when I went to the mall the other day, I saw my sales associate at Chanel, and they had the medium flap there. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, what do you think about this one?" She rolled her eyes and she's like, "It is hideous. I like the leather. I don't like the hardware." And it's funny because I don't like the leather, but I like the hardware. And she goes, it's just it looks like a clown to me. She was not a fan of the bag whatsoever. And while that might be harsh to hear for some people as far as a Chanel sales associate saying that, I appreciate her honesty. I love that about her. It is so refreshing to get a sales associate that isn't trying to sell you everything in the store. So I thought it was funny. And I asked my hubby because he was with me. I said, "Well, what do you think?" And he's all, "No, I think it's ugly. I think it looks clownish." Those are two people's opinion, obviously. I think it's great. I think it's a fun piece. But yeah, the hardware's my favorite. Okay, Caitlin Carvalho. I'm so sorry. I know I butchered it before. Do you still recommend the Josephine wallet? And here I have just some eye candy for us. I do have 3 Josephines, and I did pick up the little coin pouch, and what I meant by coin pouch is this little guy right here. I picked it up. I still recommend it. I think it is a great wallet, even though I have had issues in the past before. And when I told you guys about the bubbling, a lot of you guys have told me that you guys as well have had the bubbling happen in this little coin pouch. Let me see if I can. I haven't swapped it out yet, so maybe I could show you guys on here as well in case you didn't catch the video. All right, so do you see how it has that little bubbling throughout the lining right there? A lot of you guys said that you had that as well. And I still recommend the wallet. It has a great price point. It's very simple. It's not fussy. It doesn't have a bunch of bells and whistles. And I think it's great. I think for me, it's one of the best wallets to have if you don't carry too much. And that's what I like about it. Because some of the other wallets, they have tons and tons of credit card slots, including the Insolent wallet that I like. but it's just too much for my lifestyle. So for something simple, I think that the Josephine or the Emily are great wallets. Even though I have had problems in the past before, I still recommend them. Okay. Jazz Vance, do you own a pair of Louis Vuitton heels? I want to get a pair, but I hear they're very uncomfortable. What are your thoughts? Okay, so when we went to Paris the first time, we were at the Louis Vuitton on the Champs-Élysées. I'm laughing because I will never forget this. We went into the Champs-Élysées and I wanted to get some kind of shoe because I had been falling in love with their shoes at that time. I really liked the ballerina flats, and I ended up getting a pair somewhat similar to that. But there was this, I mean, magnificent pair of Louis Vuitton heels. They were just incredible. I could not wait to try them on. They had the lock on the back, very high heels. I think they were probably like 5, maybe 5.5 inches. So they were extremely tall. So, you know, I'm talking to the sales associate and she asks me, what size are you? And I said, well, I'm a 9 in the US. So usually with European sizes, I run a lot larger. Like some of the products that I have are 10.5s. So she brought me out a 10.5 and I thought, okay, you know, I'll try this on. I am not kidding you. When I put it on, I felt like Cinderella's ugly stepsister. You know, when she's trying to put on the glass slipper, she's trying her hardest to put her foot in that thing and it's not working. That's how I felt. I was trying so hard to put it on. It was excruciating. My toes were hitting up against the tip of the shoe, of the heel, and she brought out an 11 and I'm like, no, I am determined to put these on. So I finally put them on. I felt when I started walking on them, I felt like Bambi when he first, you know, learns to walk. And yeah, I don't have wide feet and I don't have narrow feet. I think I have average feet as far as the width goes. It looked like all of my skin had this ginormous muffin top on top of, or you know, on the outside of the heel. It was the ugliest thing I've ever seen. The sales associate looked at me like, "What are you doing?" It was so embarrassing, but at that moment, like I said, I'm like, no, I am determined to put these on. So, are they uncomfortable? I think so. I've tried them on at other boutiques and to no avail. They're always the same. They're not very comfortable. So I mean, I'm not, I love the way that they look, but they are a pain in the ass to put on for me anyways. But I can definitely appreciate them. So are they uncomfortable? Maybe. It depends on your foot, to be honest. Maybe if I had and they had, little tights things there that you could put on. And I didn't do that either. I was silly. It was stupid, really, but I will never forget it. Especially, like I said, her face. She was just kind of like... All right. Next question. Carlos Spungen Moss. Are you planning on adding a Chanel jacket to your life? Yes, I would love to in the future. I like, that's one of the staples for Chanel, so definitely I would like to in the future. All right, Rose Alina. Due to all the, I don't want to say problems, but concerns / issues you've had with Louis Vuitton lately, do you think you'll start to pull away from the brand and purchase less from it, in the future? It's funny that you say that because, like I told you guys, I went into the boutique the other day to pick up my item, and I talked about the vernis, the zippy coin purse, beautiful, beautiful vernis, and they have a bunch of other items there. But I'll be honest, there was nothing that I bought. There was absolutely nothing that I bought that I was like, oh, I have to have. I hadn't seen this before. I saw a few things, but you know, the zippy coin purse and that magenta vernis is the only thing that really, really grabbed my attention. But even then, I was apprehensive as to purchasing it because of the same problems that I've had in the past. You know, I noticed a few other things. I went through, I guess you could say I did an inventory on my items, and I looked through some of the things, and I found that, you know, some things have other issues. I'm not going to even take them into the boutique. I feel like I'm that person, you know, that I'm trying to find something wrong with them. I'm not, obviously. But I just, yeah, it left a bad taste in my mouth. It still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't know if I'm, you know, before I was kind of on cloud nine when I'd walk into the boutique and go check out new items, but now I don't have that same feeling. So, you know, it sucks, but yes, I will be extremely, if I was picky before, I don't know what the heck you're going to call it now as far as if I decide to purchase something from them. So yeah, I will be kind of taking a step back for now anyways. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Moniza 80. I have a question about Empriente leather. I am going to be purchasing a twin set in black noir Empriente leather. This will be my first Empriente piece, so I'm wondering what thoughts you have on how well it wears. I don't want to have a bag that will lose its shape and with use at the bottom / corners with use or time. I will be purchasing it next week, so I don't have time to start with SLGs and experience the leather first. You know me well, you know I was going to recommend that. The twin set, it reminds me of, I think you'll be fine with the twin set. It reminds me of the Pochette Metise as far as how it's structured. I don't think it'll lose too much structure because of the walls that it has on the outside where the Empriente is. It almost feels a little bit reinforced. But I do love Empriente leather. You know, over time, like I said, the embossing will start to kind of smoothen out. It won't be as prominent as you see it now. I think this is pretty prominent for me anyways. And, you know, I just really like the leather. It's somewhat carefree. You have to be a little bit, you know, careful as far as scratching the edges just in case, you know, this starts to, not ball, no, what am I trying to say? You know, when you scratch leather on an abrasive surface and you kind of see the little, oh my goodness, I'm having such a hard time talking. You know, just you notice it a little bit more. So you just have to be careful, but it does have a beautiful varnishing. I know the SLGs do, and the twin set has the same type of style as far as this goes on the edges. So I think you'll be okay. I don't think it'll lose its shape. If you were to get something like an artsy, that will probably lose its shape a little bit easier. If you got something like the Montaigne, it's a very structured bag and that won't lose its shape. So it all depends on the bag, but like I said before, I think you'll be okay with the twin set. Okay. And last question is Brit. I have been very on the fence about getting the Empriente key pouch from Louis Vuitton. I am mostly interested in using it as a possible mini wallet for my favorite MM, but I am a cash girl. I was wondering if you think the clay will be able to hold a decent amount of cash bills, and if you would have to fold them more than once to fit them inside. I was also considering the zippy coin purse in Empriente, but there is quite the price difference. Your input would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so for those of you that know, I use this mostly as a little mini wallet. That's what I prefer to use it as. And let's see, what do I have in here? So in here, I just have a few things right now because I am using my Josephine wallet. And I have cash, excuse me, that I have folded once. And that fits in here just fine. And even though the zippy coin purse is a great SLG, it is kind of a pain in the butt to be able to, you have to fold your bills more than once. If you have coins, it tends to get very bulky very quickly. Although you do have designated credit card slots, which is what I like about it. Plus, you have that zipper closure, which is great for security. But if you're going with the Empriente as a little mini wallet, you have this back here that you can use coins. And even though it does not have designated credit card slots, I still think it fits quite a bit. Obviously, it can stretch out very nicely because of the Empriente leather. So as far as between this and the zippy coin purse, I would go for this as a little mini wallet. I think it's great. Plus, you have this little guy right here, this little key ring that you can you know, just grab it. You can use this as a little clutch. Heck, you know, I just think it looks great. And I think you can use I think at one point I had 15 credit cards in here, or, you know, cards. Plus I had a lot of cash in there, and it got a little bulky, but for the most part, it was still definitely wearable, and you can tell that I didn't stretch it out too much or anything like that. So I think I would go with this over the zippy coin purse and the Empriente leather, personally. Although, like I said, the Empriente piece does have those great detailed features, but when it comes to storing your cash, that is probably one of the most annoying things, when you have to keep folding your cash. And if you're going in and out of your wallet and you keep paying with paper money, it's yeah, it's not pretty. You have to go through all of them, and it's just a pain in the butt. I feel that way anyways. But yes, I would recommend that, definitely. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. Thank you guys so much for all of the questions. I hope I was able to answer them to the best of my knowledge. And I will see you all tomorrow with the Louis Vuitton second reveal. And then I also have October monthly favorites coming on Wednesday. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.